a sign-up sheet that is electronic. So when they sign up, they will come up there. They will show up on this desk. If you would like to move someone up or down, if you'd let me know, I think I can figure out how to move things up and down on this screen. The biggest thing I think is that we just need to make sure we keep a better tally on proxies. Certainly, if you're in the room, your desk mate may vote you, but if you leave the room, it would be much better if you go ahead and set a proxy. Also, Patty and I and others will help make sure that you're voting the proxies, which are on your desk as well. The other item, I think this committee has worked very collaboratively and also very bipartisan. We agree and disagree occasionally on issues, but we do it in the proper way. We will have an electronic timer that will be set up, as I understand, possibly this screen. We will work with Senator Howell and others in the committee to make sure that we agree on what those times will be and how we'll function that, so we have an agreement on how that will work. With that, unless there are other questions, we will go to the sign-up sheet, and first up is Senator Favola. Welcome.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
First, I would just like to advise you that I do have an amendment in the nature of a substitute, so I would ask that you move the adoption of that amendment.
Okay. Does the clerk have the amendment? Is there a motion on the amendment in nature of a substitute? All in favor? Do we need to electronically vote a substitute? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. And substitutes agreed to. Senator Favola.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. What this bill does, the difference between the substitute and the original bill is it creates a teacher education degree within the four-year bachelor context. And we put the language under the program section of the statute rather than the licensure section. I just want to note that this idea came out of a study that my subcommittee did, which the subcommittee was tasked with looking at teacher shortage. The full committee, the Joint Committee on K-12 Reform, adopted this recommendation. It's something that is intended to help build the pipeline of future teachers. Not every teacher, of course, is going to probably achieve licensure after 4 years. Some may take 5 years, especially if you're going to be teaching in a content-rich area, say in high school. But some elementary school teachers may be able to get through in 4 years. And this is a teacher preparation degree. It directs the Department of Education to come up with regulations to create that option. And that's the extent of the bill.
All right. Are there others here to speak in favor of the bill? Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. I'm Kathy Bircher with the Virginia Education Association. This bill matches recommendations that the Virginia Education Association has taken up in our teacher shortage work groups, and so we are supportive of this bill.
Okay. Yes, welcome.
Chairman, members of the committee, Tom Smith with the Superintendents Association. Superintendents across the Commonwealth are experiencing severe difficulty in filling teaching positions. We hope this will be one of the components that will help us with that issue. So we are in strong support.
Great. Thank you for coming today. Are there those that are here to speak in opposition to the bill or others in favor? Oh, sure. Welcome.
Mr. Chairman, my name is John Seswick. I'm with Virginia Professional Educators. We're also in support of the bill. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Anyone here speak in opposition to the bill? Okay. Do committee members have questions about the bill? If
Mr.
not,
Chair?
yes.
I just have one question.
Yeah, Senator Peterson.
Do we not do this currently? I mean, is it not possible to get a four-year degree in education or?
The Governor McAuliffe, I guess in December, had directed the Department of Education to start working on this, but I'm not sure how far along that has been. But the degrees now, they're four-year degrees, and teachers are required to go a fifth year to get their practicum and in-classroom experience. I will certainly defer. Cindy. Good morning.
Good morning, Cindy. Welcome.
Good morning. Cynthia Cave, Assistant Superintendent for Policy for the Department of Education. Now there are programs where you can go and get a degree in 4 years, teaching
Right.
program, but About 20 years ago, a commission studied the then current teacher licensure programs ending with a degree in education, and they felt as though in order to get the academic content that there should be a degree that had a subject matter, like science or mathematics. So they took away the option of having it in education only. And so what we're looking at is putting back the option of ending with a degree in education.
So in essence, if I wanted to be a teacher before, I'd go and get an English degree or literature or liberal
Right,
arts,
currently.
whatever, and then go back an extra year to get my education
And
degree.
there's a little misconception that you have to go 5 years and you have to get a master's, and really that's not the case. There are some programs that have still put it together for 4 years to still have a academic content degree like math, but what in reality, to get all of your educational courses that are required and should be taken, plus your content courses to get your degree, sometimes takes 5 years, and so that's where this is coming from.
Okay, thanks.
All right, are there others that have questions about the bill? If not, is there a motion on the bill as amended? All right, there's a motion and a second that the bill be reported as amended. All those in favor record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Clerk will close the roll.
Thank you so very much.
Ayes 14, no zero.
All right, ayes 14, no zero. The bill passes as amended. Next up is Senator Stanley. Good morning, Senator Stanley.
Morning, members of the committee.
You have two bills before us today, I believe.
I do, Mr. Chairman.
Good. Would you want to take up the hospital licensure bill for your area
I
there?
would. Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, Senate Bill 134 comes to us based on what has just recently happened in Patrick County. A little bit of history to demonstrate so that you know why we need this so badly, and really the timeliness of it is just as important. Back in the 50s, those in Patrick County, back when our economy was different, decided that they needed a hospital. And that community knew that the only way that they could build a hospital was by contributing their own pay. And so all the members and the citizens of Patrick County took a little bit out of their paycheck to make sure that they could build this hospital. That hospital is at the center point in Stewart, Virginia, right there in the heart of Patrick County. It was eventually purchased by a company called Pioneer. Pioneer operated that hospital, and during its operation decided that a facelift was needed and borrowed in excess of $7 million from Virginia Community Capital. Pioneer then went into bankruptcy, and this was one of those assets. VCC was able to pull the hospital out of bankruptcy, but when it went into bankruptcy, the hospital shut down this summer unexpectedly, leaving Patrick County in the lurch. And so by pulling it out of the bankruptcy, that gives us a chance of finding a new operator of this hospital. But what happened when the hospital shut down was that we lost our critical care designation, and our accreditation by the Commonwealth of Virginia, which is annually renewable as of December 31st, went by the wayside. Without those designations and approvals and accreditations, it is much harder, almost impossible, for us to find a new operator of this hospital. What this bill does in a nutshell is put back and allow for Patrick County to have the accreditation that it would naturally have had, but for the mismanagement by Pioneer. Ladies and gentlemen, I would tell you this. Unlike many rural hospitals which are suffering from a lack of funding or from a lack of profitability, the hospital in Patrick County was profitable. It was not anything that the hospital in Patrick County did that caused it to shut down. Rather, it was what happened with Pioneer. And because the history of this hospital is that it was raised by the community and supported by the community, then the community shall be given an opportunity to make sure that it is once again viable and serving the citizens of Patrick County. So what this does is it backdates the credentials, gives us 1 year of accreditation from the Commonwealth of Virginia that will make it not only more attractive to a potential buyer and operator, but also is a shot in the arm to Patrick County to show that we in the General Assembly care about rural health care. There are people here that are in support of this bill, but I will close by saying this. Right now, without this hospital, those that are hurt, injured, or sick must travel sometimes 90 miles or 2 hours to a hospital. Without this hospital, right now, Martinsville Hospital is overloaded. with ambulances from Patrick County. But those ambulances themselves may have taken 45 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours to get there. This does not guarantee that the hospital will reopen. But ladies and gentlemen of this committee, I can guarantee you this: if we do not have this piece of legislation become law, you can almost be certain that the hospital will not reopen. And for those reasons, I would ask for your favorable consideration.
All right, Senator, are there any amendments that are needed, or we are good in the Section 1 bill we have before us?
Mr. Chairman, unless you know something that I don't, I think it's in the form that it needs to be in.
Are there those that are here to speak in favor of the bill? I think it's in pretty good shape, but we'd love to hear from those that have traveled to speak in favor of the
Yeah,
bill.
there are those from Patrick County that love their community and love their
Senator, I was born in this hospital, and they serve all my relatives. I kind of like the bill, so that's good.
We're good.
Good morning, thank you. My name is Crystal Harris. I'm a senior supervisor in Patrick County. This is my fifth term of serving. And I've never come before you, and I am begging you to support this. Let me take off my supervisor's hat and explain to you too. I'm also EMS. I've traveled those roads, and I'm old, and I'm having to get up in the middle of the night, and we are traveling to Martinsville, to Roanoke, Rocky Mount, and to New River Valley carrying patients. That's a 3-hour turnaround at the best. You go into the Martinsville Hospital and you may have 3 or 4 trucks, as it was Tuesday morning when I was there. Couldn't fly my patient out because of the ice. It is very crucial that we have this hospital back. My parents were one of the people that gave from the factories years ago. I worked in the ER for 10 years. I know what we can do. We need it back for the people in Patrick County to save life. The ERs are overfull in Mount Airy with patients going there. We need our hospital back. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you for coming today. Others would like to speak in favor of the bill? Yes, ma'am. Welcome.
Good morning. I'm Debbie Foley, and I'm the Economic Development Director of Patrick County. I have a prepared statement. I just wanted to kind of, in essence of time. In addition, of course, as Crystal Harris did allude to, the detriment to the county and to the fire and rescue squads is absolutely, I mean, it's detrimental. The loss of the hospital, in addition to that, is and will be devastating to any economic development efforts for the county. We already have many challenges already. For instance, we have very limited infrastructure such as public water and sewer. And the loss of ready access to health care will just absolutely hinder any pursuits to expand our economic base. Specifically, if you're talking manufacturing and any kind of commercial manufacturing. Ready access to health care is very significant consideration for any company when they are looking to expand in an area. We already have very stiff competition from our areas. You have Henry County, City of Martinsville, Pittsylvania County, City of Danville, even Halifax and Franklin counties. The extension of this actual license will give us and put our hospital in the best possible position in order to get an operator, and will also be tremendously help in shortening the time frame for it to reopen once it is actually purchased. The hospital was it was actually a profitable establishment, and as Senator Stanley did allude to, it was basically I'm sorry, it's very hard for me. It was an unfortunately casualty of gross misconduct and just negligence on behalf of Pioneer. I cannot stress how important this hospital is to the county, to the citizens, to our fire and rescue, and I implore that you please vote yes for this because by doing so, it's a vote for Patrick County. Thank you.
Well, thank you for coming. You're very fortunate to have Senator Stanley here, and I think he's got his bill in pretty good shape, but we'd love to hear your support, but I think we're good.
My name is Jane Scales Falk, and I'm a new supervisor in Patrick County. This is my first year. I'm also an EMS and have been for 20 years. The hospital means a lot to us. It's been there ever since I've been there. And it's closed and lost us over 140 jobs that we cannot lose. We don't need to lose that much in our economic situation. Also, the health care and the health of our elderly and our children are in your hands with this bill. So I ask that you pass it.
Thank you for making the trip. Thank you for coming by. Others speak in favor? Welcome, sir.
Good morning. Thank you, committee. Thank you, Chairman. I've got just a few brief points I'll make. My name's Tom Rose. I'm the county administrator for Patrick County. Again, as Bill said, this is the nearest hospital. 35 minutes is an average drive for us. It's not unusual to have a 90-minute drive now. We have an aging population within Patrick County. Over 60% of our population is over 65 years old. So we're seeing increased calls. Primarily the volunteer service. We had strictly a volunteer service right now. We do not have a paid service. So this puts a major strain on them. Their 30-minute calls have turned into 3 to 4 hour calls, as Mrs. Harris said. It's becoming a retirement community. Ms. Foley mentioned future business growth is going to be greatly halted. This is a definite need. This is not a want for us. It's critical to the future and the prosperity. The hospital is a viable hospital. It was profitable. It was making money. Unfortunately, Pioneer grossly mismanaged it, and they siphoned a tremendous amount of money out of it. Hence why we're here today.
Great.
And at that, I will leave that to you. I hope you find favor with it.
Well, thank you. Thank you
so
for your
much.
service to the county as well. Welcome. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, my name is Jerry Hazelwood. I'm the Assistant County Administrator for Patrick County. I'm here to support this bill today.
Great. Well,
Thank you
for
for your
coming.
consideration.
Yes.
Good
Welcome.
morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. It's very nice to see you all, and welcome back to Richmond. I'm Julie Dime with the Hospital and Healthcare Association, and at the risk of repeating, I will just echo all of the comments that you've heard here this morning. And just one last thing is to express our sincerest appreciation to Senator Stanley, who has been working on this since day one, and really brought it to our attention, and certainly has been wonderful in helping those in Patrick County to continue to access health care. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming. Are there others here to speak in favor? Are there any here to speak in opposition to the bill? The members have questions about the bill? Is there a motion on the bill? All right, there's a motion and a second that the bill be adopted. All those in favor say.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Senator Howe.
I'm sorry, I had pushed my waiting to speak button.
Well, I don't
a while ago.
understand that yet, so it's cool. Senator from Northern Fairfax, Senator Howe.
Thank you. Senator Stanley, you said that those of us who care about rural health care would vote for this bill, but I'd like to point out that those of us who truly care about rural health care would vote for Medicaid expansion. It would give us and some of these hospitals a buffer and provide services for the rural communities. I think if we don't, this is going to be the first of many such bills, and I'm a little leery of that.
Okay, thank you. Other questions to the patron? If not, there's a motion and the second that the bill be reported. All those in favor say aye. Vote aye. Those opposed, vote no.
Ayes 13, no 0. I'm sorry, no 0, abstention 1.
Okay. Ayes 13, no 0, abstain 1. The bill passes. Thank you, Senator. And you now have Senate Bill 227, New College.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, may it please, and this will be a brief bill, and it, just so you all know, New College Institute is in Martinsville, Virginia. It provides an educational opportunity to achieve a 4-year college degree in an area that, quite frankly, has the lowest number, used to have the highest number of college graduates and the highest incomes, now has the lowest number of college graduates, only 11% possessing a college degree. And also, we've experienced a brain drain. It's trying to provide quality education at a low cost to people that otherwise might not have that opportunity. So that this board knows, this committee knows, as chairman of that board, we have embarked on a new, bold, and ambitious plan where we were going to focus not on a la carte delivery of French degrees and mathematics degrees, but we're going to focus on cyber technology 4-year degrees, engineering and advanced manufacturing, and also in the education and healthcare fields. We're also going to make sure that we're offering opportunities. Remember, the average per capita income for a family of four in my area, well, the state area is 70,000. My area, it's 28,600. So many people can't even think about college. They're thinking about food on the table, shoes on their feet. What we're going to do at New College is offer that education to those people living at or below the poverty level who are gifted, who may not be thinking of college, at such a low rate that hopefully it almost will amount to a free education. What this does, Bill 227, is basically empower the board and those at the direction of the board to contract with outside entities other than community colleges, so that if we can offer credential programs which are, non-grade based, but still can be embedded in some of our programs or offered as standalones, that way we can create some workforce training avenues and opportunities for those in our area. Quite simply, this just gives us the opportunity. It doesn't forestall our cooperation. We work very well with our community colleges. It just gives us another tool in the toolbox to make sure that we're making New College of Virginia the best education possible for those who take advantage of it.
Thank you, Senator Stanley. Are there those that are here to speak in favor of Senate Bill 227? Is there anyone here to speak in opposition to the bill? Hearing none, are the members have questions? There's a motion and a second that the bill be reported. All those in favor will record their vote aye. Opposed, no. It's a good bill.
Ayes 15, no 0.
All right, ayes 15, no 0. The bill passes. Thank you, Senator, and thank you for coming
Thank
today.
you so much. Thank you, members of the committee.
Okay. Next up will be Senator Edwards. Senator, welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. Senate Bill 295 is to revise the membership of the members of the Board of Trustees of the Roanoke Higher Education Center. Periodically, we have had people come and institutions come and institutions go. And Roanoke College and Hollins University have been members since the beginning, but they've never really seen fit or had any reason to use the facility itself. And they finally come to the conclusion, rather than just paying dues all the time, which is great, and having them as members of the board to participate, they've decided that they would, since they're not using the facility, that they would withdraw their membership. And so this bill would delete Roanoke College and Hollins University as members of the Board of Trustees. At the same time, we'll add Virginia Commonwealth University, because Virginia Commonwealth University is participating in the Roanoke Higher Education Center, and therefore rightly wants to become a full-fledged member of the Board of Trustees. So that's what this does.
Right, no amendments are needed, is that right, John? No amendments are needed, we're in good shape?
No, it's just and this is
It looks
requested by the...
pretty straightforward. Are anyone here to speak in favor of it, Senator Edwards? Anyone in the audience here to speak in favor of the bill? Anyone here to speak in opposition to Senate Bill 295? Hearing none. All right, there's a motion and a second that the bill, Senate Bill 295, be reported. All those in favor will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no.
Ayes 15, no 0.
All right, ayes 15, noes 0. The bill is reported. John, thank you for coming, sir.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Good. Next up is Senator McClellan. Welcome.
I have Senate Bill 287, which would provide that the Commissioner of Health will make available information contained in the statewide trauma registry to the Department for Aging and Rehabilitative Services to allow DARS to develop and implement programs and services for persons suffering from spinal cord injury. Back in the 1980s, the General Assembly passed legislation that directed DARS, then known as the Department of Rehabilitative Services, to operate and maintain a registry of individuals treated for brain injury or spinal cord injury. And from that point forward, DARS collected data on brain and spinal cord injuries and conducted outreach efforts to individuals suffering from those injuries. Back in 2008, the General Assembly eliminated that DARS registry, but required the Department of Health to share relevant information on brain injury with DARS. Unfortunately, that legislation said nothing about spinal cord injury, and so since 2008, there have not been the ability to share that information and provide services for spinal cord injury victims. Now, the United Spinal Association of Virginia, which is an advocacy group for these individuals, is up and running in Virginia and would like to get access to this information so they can provide services to individuals suffering from spinal cord injury.
Perfect. So the bill's pretty straightforward, just adds spinal cord to brain injuries. Thank you for bringing it forward. Do you have anyone here to speak in favor of the bill?
I think only if there are questions. Shannon Drennan, who is the Executive Director of the United Spinal Cord Association of Virginia, is here. And I have representatives from DARS and the Department of Health if there are any questions.
Perfect. All right. Is there anyone here to speak in opposition to this pretty good bill? No? All right. The committee have, there's a motion and a second that the bill be reported. That is Senate Bill 287. All in favor record their vote aye. Those opposed, no.
Thank you.
Ayes 15, no zero.
All right. Ayes 15, no zero. The bill is reported. Thank you, Senator, for coming by. All right. Up next is Senator Marston. Is Senator Marston here? Yes. Welcome, Senator.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Directing your attention to House Senate Bill 304.
All right. Go ahead, Senator.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a cleanup bill to reconcile the differences between emergency medical services agency regulations and state code with regard to licensure. EMS regulations and state code conflict in regards to temporary licenses for EMS, emergency medical services agencies, which could include volunteer fire departments, regular fire departments, or private providers who provide EMS services. The bill provides for a 60-day temporary licensure period. Regulations had called for 180 days. This bill also asks another thing, which is for a period of 90 days of a temporary permit for vehicles that are purchased or brought into service by these agencies, to give them a 90-day period to get up to lawful standards. And so the bill does these two things and brings everything into compliance. And I'd ask for the committee to give it favorable consideration.
Great. Perfect. Is there any of those that are here to speak in favor of Senate Bill 304? Anyone here to speak in opposition to the bill? Committee? All right, there's a motion and a second that Senate Bill 304 be reported. All in favor will record their vote aye. Those opposed, no.
Ayes 15, no zero.
Ayes 15, no zero. The bill is reported. Senator
Thank
Marston,
you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee.
All right, what we have up next is really just the committee members that are on the committee's bills. Senator Suderline, would you mind going first? You have before us Senate Bill 103, if you don't mind presenting from the podium.
Mr. Chairman? Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
While he's doing that,
Sure.
I would like to move that SB 126 is my bill. Goodbye for the day.
All right, this is by agreement. There's some need to do a little bit of work. It's a good bill, but a little bit of work on that bill. So without objection, Senate Bill 126 will go by for the day.
Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Cosgrove. Senator Suderline, Senate Bill 103.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Senate Bill 103 before the committee would extend reciprocity to the trailing military spouse for teacher licensure here in the Commonwealth. It's something that we deal with often, especially in some of your districts that have large military presence, and it's something that I think would help us as we deal with the teacher shortage here in the Commonwealth. Happy to take any questions, but it's a pretty straightforward bill.
I don't think so. Okay. Are there those that are here to speak in favor of the bill? Well, welcome. Come forward.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, Alan Siebert. I'm superintendent of schools in Salem City, Virginia. I'm also speaking on behalf of the Virginia Association of School Superintendents. We support this bill, and we look forward to the General Assembly looking at teacher shortage, the acute teacher shortage, in a multifaceted way of short and long-term solutions. We think this could be part of some of the short-term solutions. Long-term, we look forward to seeing the heroic profession elevated and supported in a number of ways. But in general, teacher licensure in Virginia still focuses on inputs. As superintendents, we like to have as many qualified candidates as we can to always be putting the best teachers in front of the children that they serve.
Perfect. Thanks for coming today. Are there others that are here to speak in favor of the bill? Welcome. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Good morning. Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, I'm Rebecca Gunn with Roanoke Regional Chamber. I just wanted to let you know that we stand in support of SB 103. It would provide a resource for military spouses who wish to enter our education system and have gainful employment in our workforce. Thank you.
Perfect. Thanks for coming today. Others here speak in favor of the bill? Okay, that's fine.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, I'm John Suswick. I'm with Virginia Professional Educators. We strongly support this bill. Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming by. Yeah, others that want to speak to the bill. Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, Kathy Bircher, the Virginia Education Association. The Virginia Education Association sees the need to expand reciprocity when we look at our teacher shortage here in Virginia. Our only concern is assuring that we don't put Virginia teachers and teachers who earned their teaching credentials through the Commonwealth at any disadvantage in the hiring or relicensing process.
Okay, good. Senator Suderline, this would go for all states, so there's not a reciprocal relationship that's needed. It is any state, anywhere where you have a degree and in good standing, you could come for the 1-year probationary time. Is that
Right.
correct, sir? Yes.
And then there would be the opportunity after that for
Okay.
review.
Good. Anyone here in opposition to the bill? Does any member of the committee have a question?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, Senator Cosgrove.
Two questions. One, Senator Suderline, is there a military facility close to your area?
We've got National Guard facility, but my special interest in this bill is my mother, Terry Suderline, got to have teacher licensures in Arizona, California, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Maine before the Commonwealth of Virginia.
Okay. And Mr. Chairman, just to
Senator
speak to
Cosgrove.
it,
Yes, sir.
I think this is a very well-intentioned and a good bill, especially for my area. Certainly with the Navy and the Air Force and the Army and the Marine Corps all having facilities in Hampton Roads, plus Northern Virginia. I think this will go a long way to alleviating the quote, teacher shortage that everybody's so concerned about. So I think it's a well-timed bill, and I appreciate you bringing it forward.
Are there other questions or comments about the bill?
Move to report.
Senator Sasslaw, and then we'll get right to that. Yes, sir.
My understanding is that there's not much of a teacher shortage in Arlington County. Anybody want to explain, does the fact that if a little more than 20 years of experience and these people are earning over $90,000 a year, do you think that has anything to do with it?
It's a great question.
I don't know if you want to get into a different discussion about distribution of education funds, but
Well, they're at the top at the 80-20. You know, they got to pay 80% of.
I'm aware, although I'm also aware that there's a delegate that thinks it should be zeroed out. I'm not advocating for that, though.
All right. Okay.
Very good. So any other questions about the bill? If not, is there a motion on the bill?
Move to report.
There's a motion and a second that the bill be reported. All those in favor say aye. I'm sorry. I apologize. Record your vote aye.
Ayes 15, no 0.
Ayes 15, no 0. The bill is reported. David, thank you, sir.
Thank you all very much.
Yeah. Next up is Senator Peterson's not here, so Senator Black, do you mind taking up your bill, which is Senate Bill 269?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Senate Bill 269, and it deals with observation status notice to patients. Back in 2015, I sponsored a bill that required hospitals to provide notice to patients when they were simply in an observation status. This is because they may end up paying the bill themselves. We gave 24 hours for the hospitals to provide notice. That bill was passed. Later the same year, the federal government passed a very similar law pertaining to Medicare patients. And the purpose of this bill really is to eliminate inconsistencies between the federal law and the state law. The federal law provides 36 hours, which is probably a little more reasonable than the 24-hour period that we provided. And so right now, the hospitals are required to provide 2 separate notices, one for what we passed and one for the federal law. So this will eliminate that, that duplication. And so basically it eliminates the superfluous notice. And if there are any questions on it, we have Brent Rawlings from the Virginia Hospital Association here, and he can answer those.
All right. So I think we do have two bills that are identical. And so, Senator Barker, why don't we hear from you? We'll roll the bills, we'll get the comments, and move on from there. Senator Barker.
Certainly, and Senator Black and I had actually worked on this legislation as well 4 years ago. I didn't realize he'd put the same bill in this year. There are, as I think Senator Black has really directly described what the situation is and what led to this, so that we're trying to standardize things here. What I would do is say that the only major change is the extension from 24 hours to 36 hours. I've checked with some of the stakeholders who were involved previously, the Virginia Poverty Law Center and AARP, and they are supportive of moving forward in this direction.
Senator Barker, thank you very much. Is there a
Chairman,
motion to roll?
I have a motion that we roll Senate Bill 281 into Senate Bill 269, make the patron of 281 chief co-patron on 269.
Barker, you good? Okay. All right. I understand we have to have a recorded vote. All in favor of rolling the bills together, please record your vote. Aye. Those opposed, no.
Ayes 14, no 0.
Yeah.
You won't let me vote, but
We'll mark you guys as being in favor of your own bill. Okay. Very good. With that, are there those that are here to speak in favor of the bills? Welcome.
Good morning, Mr. Chair and members of the committee. Brent Rawlings, Virginia Hospital and Healthcare Association. We support this bill.
Perfect. Others that are here to speak in favor? Are there any here to speak in opposition to what is now the substitute for Senate Bill 269? Hearing none, there's a motion and a second that we report substitute to Senate Bill 269. All those in favor record their vote aye. Those opposed, no. Oh, sorry. Can I? Oh, I'm going to clear the vote and we'll do it again. All in favor record your vote aye. Has every senator voted? Are you voted, Senator Black? Yes, you are. Okay.
Yes, says yea.
Okay.
Ayes 15, no 0.
Ayes 15, no 0. The bill passes. Thank you, Senator Black and Senator Barker. Senator Peterson's not back yet. Let's go to Senator Donovan. And if anybody knows if Senator Peterson is lingering around close by, if we could notify him, that would be helpful, right? Senator Donovan, you have before us Senate Bill 330.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is actually a recommendation. It didn't come through the Joint Commission, but it's a recommendation from the Joint Commission. And this is in regard to the THCA oil in the bill that we passed a couple of years ago to compound CBD and THCA oil. And this is really just a little safety net. It's come to our attention that there's a possibility that over time with storage, some of the oil can carboxylize and change the active ingredient concentration in the oil. And so we're just going to promulgate, and I'm so sorry, let me start by saying I do have an amendment to this bill. And that is to make the window for the regulatory process 280 days. And that's at the request of the Board of Pharmacy.
Great, sorry. Tom, will you please report the amendment?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's a second enactment clause, so on new line 32, insert that the Board of Pharmacy shall promulgate regulations to implement the provisions of this act within 280 days of its enactment.
All right, there's a motion and a second to adopt the amendment. Does that have to be a recorded vote, guys? All those in favor will say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. And the amendment is agreed to. Senator, do you have anyone to speak in favor of the bill?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No, sir.
Anyone here to speak in opposition to the bill? All right. The motion is that the bill as amended be reported. All those in favor record their vote aye.
Thank you, John.
Ayes 15, no 0.
Ayes 15, no 0. The bill has been reported. Seeing no Peterson, we will see him next week. How about that? So, all right, just a couple of, well, I'll say this. We've got a couple of announcements, and then if he comes in that time. So before we dispense today, I'm hopeful that you would be kind enough to allow me once again to have this starting next week at 8 o'clock. I know that's a little difficult, but there are a lot of bills in this committee, so we're going to start at 8. I know that Senator Lucas, you in particular, have got a conflict, and we'll try to work with the chairman of that committee to work that out because we need you here and they need you there. So we'll
Right, because
try to
they've
work it
already
out.
combined those two
That's right.
committees.
Okay, well, are
Right,
you on there
capital
too?
outlay. Yes, tax laws on it also.
Well, you know, half the Senate's on that subcommittee now, so maybe they can do without you. So, okay, very good. With that, let me also just introduce the staff that we have. Everyone here knows Patty Lund. She has been with us for a couple of years, since she was a teenager, and so we're delighted to have you back. Also, we're very pleased to have Tom Stevens. Tom has done extraordinary work this year, whether you know it or not. You introduced a lot of bills, and then you didn't hit send very quickly on the bills, and as a result, Tom's job has been extraordinarily difficult. We will continue to work with the minority on trying to set the schedule, as we've talked about before, and also on the clock. Given the number of bills that we have next week, we're going to try to take up some that we may have some disagreement on and just get those done because we just have so much that we need to do. There's a lot of Medicaid-type bills and a lot of other bills that are coming through. So we're going to try to do that. And if you're, with your concurrence, we're going to set next week as kind of that meeting that we're going to talk about items that there are traditionally some disagreement on next week, and we're going to hold the patrons to those dates. If you would allow me, I'd also like to announce to you the subcommittees that will be meeting this year. First, the Public Education Subcommittee will be, as it was last year, chaired by Senator Carrico, joined by Senator Donovan, Senator Howell, Senator Locke, and Senator Peake. Also, the Health Subcommittee will once again be chaired by Senator Cosgrove, and with him will be Senator Black, Senator Barker, Senator Lewis, and Senator Suderline. The Higher Education Subcommittee, as last year, will have the chairman as Senator Saslaw. He will be joined by Senator Black, Senator Chase, Senator Cosgrove, and Senator Peterson. The Health Professions will have the co-chairs again this year as they did last year, with Senator Suderline and Senator Donovan co-chairing the Health Professions Subcommittee, along with Senator Carrico, Senator Barker, Senator Lewis, and Senator Peake. There will be a list of those that are publicized. You will see in a document that I will have handed out to you that the times are set. But I know that Senator Saslaw is going to work with the Higher Education Subcommittee to get a better time as it conflicted, and we rarely had hardly any members there. And I know that Senator Chase wants to be there, and so we'll look to our great chairman to figure that all out. With that, are any other items to come before the committee today? If not, the committee will rise.
Patty,